So you were saying that you work full-time 6 or 7 days a week. So
Right.
can you tell me a little bit about that? What you do for work?
Right now, we're building a house in Norton, me and my son.
Okay.
I'm in business with my son. And then I go and I do, people have me do big projects with them. And so I'm kind of on my own, but you're kind of, I help people out with different construction jobs. Uh, I also screen loam.
Okay.
I have 2 different screening plants, and I do it all myself. I don't have any help. Uh, so I'm always busy. Either I'm busy we're building a house right now, over 4,000 square foot house in
Okay.
Norton. It's going to be past papers on September 7th.
So I don't know much about the construction. So do you like run heavy equipment?
I have a bunch of heavy equipment.
Okay.
I have excavators, loaders, dozers,
Okay.
and I dig. I'm basically an excavator, and I
Okay.
dig for new foundations, like across the street.
Okay.
I have a machine that's the exact same type of machine that's across the street. Believe it or
Okay.
not.
And is that something you've done
All my life.
all your life?
Yeah.
Okay. And you lived in Stoughton?
All my life.
All
I've
your
lived in
life?
the same house since 1972.
Okay. And has there been any legal issues? Has anyone, any of your family been involved with the police or, been
As
on
far
parole
as far
or
as
arrested?
my immediate family, no.
Okay.
They're all good kids.
Okay. And is yourself or anyone in your family have any physical disabilities or mental?
No, they're all working.
Okay. Um, so, and
We're
so,
very fortunate like that.
and then we're just going to talk a little bit about your physical health. So, do you have allergies or are you on any medications?
No medication. I don't believe in taking any medication.
Okay.
One of my grandmothers, my mother's mother, lived to 103. She was the only one in a nursing home that wasn't on any medication.
Okay. So, have you been
That's
told that you should take any
No,
medications?
I want to listen to it even if I was told.
Okay. When's the last time you had a physical? Don't you even?
Every 2 years I have to take a physical for
Okay.
the equipment and the truck license.
So, but on a regular basis, do you have a primary care physician?
Yeah, I do have
or
a primary care physician.
Do you see? Do you remember the last time you saw him?
About a year ago.
Was that for a specific reason?
No,
or-
just a regular physical.
Okay. And did he agree with you that there's nothing that you needed to do at this
Yeah,
time?
I mean, the only thing I had, I think actually I went to him because I think I got bit by a tick, and he gave me some medication. If he said it was too early to tell if he got the Lyme disease,
Yeah.
but it was kind of a little infected. He said this will take care of the infection. It will also take care of if it was the beginning parts of Lyme.
Okay.
It would knock it down right away.
Okay.
And Lyme disease, the sooner you catch it, the easier it is
Right.
for them to treat.
So now, are you taking any vitamins, any over-the-counter medicines? Nothing.
Nothing.
And do you have any past medical history? I know you said that you gave your sister her
I
kidney.
gave my sister a kidney when I was 21.
And other than that, have you been in the hospital ever?
Oh, I
Had
had a lazy eye
surgeries?
when I was a baby, when I was
Okay.
6 years old.
But-
But other than that, no.
Okay. So, and do you have? Are you suffering from any pain now, or
No,
taking any pain meds for anything?
no, I don't believe in
Okay.
taking any medication.
Okay. And so then, can you tell me, so a little bit, how you would describe kind of your overall nutrition habits? Do you feel comfortable with?
We can always do better. One time when I was 55, I was in the best shape of my life. I could run 6 miles and
Okay.
went to the gym and all that, but I hurt my Achilles heel. I kind of put a stop to it, but I'm very, very active in work.
Okay.
I can always be, I got to lose some weight, which is, you know,
Okay.
that's my only affliction. I like to eat.
Okay.
But other than that, I don't have any. I'm able to do whatever I really want to do
Okay.
without any restrictions.
Okay.
My health feels good. I mean, I'm getting older. I understand that. I mean, I pace myself more now,
Okay.
and if I feel tired, I take a nap.
Okay.
And I believe in resting
Okay.
is a big part of it. My father did it.
Okay.
My father lived to 92 and a half, and he took his afternoon naps his whole life.
Okay.
And
And
he
did
had
you?
high blood pressure his whole life, and he was
Okay.
on high blood pressure pills, which I'm not.
Okay.
And he did well. I mean, he watched what he ate. He was a old farmer. When when my father was growing up, before he went in the army, him and his older brother Johnny were being trained to be boxers from a guy from Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were big, strong guys, and my grandmother put a stop to it. She didn't want him fighting. But my father was quite a character.
Okay.
Yeah, but he was a nice man. He was in other words, he was the type of guy that if you mess with him, you were in trouble. But he never went looking for a fight. He was
Okay.
that kind of a guy.
Okay. And so tell me a little bit about your, um, who you socialize with, what you do for fun. Do you? It's so you live with your daughter.
I
her
live with my
boyfriend,
daughter, and
her
I
two
go down the
kids.
Cape, and I
Okay.
associate with my friends.
Okay.
And then I have work friends who I work with, and once in a while we'll have a couple of drinks after work.
Okay.
But other than that, I don't do a lot of socializing.
Okay.
I basically like to work.
Okay.
That's my hobby, and
So you consider work your hobby then?
yes, I do. I
Okay.
like what I'm doing.
Okay.
If you like what you're doing, it's really not considered work.
Okay.
You know, there's a lot of truth to that.
So you work? Do you work every day with your son then?
No, actually, what I do, my son has his own business. I'll call him on the phone. We're building this house together, and then I think we got another small project coming up, like in West Bridgewater. We might have 5 houses to build.
Yeah.
And then there's another in Bridgewater. We might have a 2-lot type of thing to build. So we'll build like 1 house a year or 2 houses a year, or we'll go into a project and build out 4 or 5 houses, and then we do that together. But I have my own, what I'm good at. What I'm good at, I'm an excavator. I'll put the foundation and I'll do all the excavation, water line, sewer line, septic system, whatever it needs. I'll do all that, grading it, loam, seed, do all that. He's more involved with dealing with the customer. That's where he excels.
Okay.
And picking out the colors and the
Okay.
type of house it should be built. He's really good at that. So the interior, he excels at. I'm more or less, I work with the frame, I work with the foundation guy, I work with all those people. And I stay with the house, like we're gonna pass this house in a month. So I gotta pretty much be on the job every day, talking and dealing with the subs,
Okay.
you know, and all that. So that's my job. But he's so busy at his work that he can't be there every day. But he doesn't have to be, because I can be.
Okay. So when you're with yourself, like, are you working by yourself? Do you have to see contractors all day? Like, are
I
you
see
pretty much-
contractors when we build a house.
Okay.
Other than that, most of the time I work by myself.
Okay. And so when you're working by yourself, it's a lot of lifting.
Sometimes, like for instance, today I had to do some shoveling. I'm pouring a little pad when they go out the garage door. I want to have a little concrete pad. I'll do all that. I'll mix the cement. And I'll pour that. Or I'll put a septic system in. If it's not a big one, I'll do all that, all the manual labor. But I have equipment. The equipment today does most of the hard work. Got to do a little bit of shoveling. I'll put the septic tank in. I got to level the bottom of the hole to prepare it, to put it at the right grade. If I dig a cellar, I got to level the bottom of the hole. But not a lot of manual work, but there is some.
So while you're building the house, though, are there other like electricians and different people there working that you're
Yeah, well,
interacting with?
my son will line up some of them, and
Yeah.
I'll go there and I'll work with them. I'll have to dig a trench for them to put the line in, and I'll have to backfill it, and I'll have to work with the subs. And some once in a while I'll have to get help in. But with the equipment, like I said, with the mini excavators, the mini skid steers, you can do most of the work with the equipment today. It's really come a long way to where it was when my father was in business.
Okay. And so, so if you wanted to talk to someone or having a problem, who do you feel like is your support system?
My support system, I don't know. I'm a pretty stable guy.
Okay.
I do lean on. Will you lean on? I ask. My older brother. If I come up against a problem, my older brother, I'm close to. I'll call him up and I'll ask his opinion. If I'm on a job and I just want to get a second opinion, I'll ask him. We did a lot of excavation together, and I'm pretty close to him. And I'm close to my son. I'll ask his opinion too. But basically, I know what I have to do.
And how often would you say you see your other children?
Uh, my children, I talk to them on the phone all the time. One of my daughters, I'm cat sitting for her down the
Okay.
Cape. One of my other daughters, her little boy had a operation. She calls me all the time. I'm going to go see him this weekend. Jessica, one of my other daughters, I got to go in there and I got to put in a drainage system in her cellar. She gets a little bit of water.
Okay.
I'm going to take care of that. So every one of them, whatever they need. My oldest daughter, I got Mike Perry, who was a carpenter, to fix some of the stuff in her house. My oldest grandson, he just got married, and I went to the wedding and gave him a bunch of money, and he's in the army. He wants to be a ranger. And I used to take him to work with me every day when he was 12 years old. And what a man he turned out to be. And then his brother, I've taken him also to work with me every day. Now he wants to be a doctor. And my oldest grandson, he went to 4 years of college,
Yeah.
and now he's in the Army. And they're really great kids, and I spent a lot of time with both of them. So I try and be for my grandkids or my kids, whatever they need.
So can you think of a time that you might have needed something from them?
Uh, yeah, well, my kids, when I went through my divorce the second time, I had two houses, and I was homeless. So I lived with my oldest daughter for 6 months. Then I went to live with my son for another 6 months, and then I eventually ended up back with my mother and father while they were still alive for about a year. So I was homeless for 2 years before I got my house back, which was unusual, but it's just the way it was. I had a cottage in Wareham, and I had a house in Stoughton, and she was fixing up the cottage in Wareham and living at the house in Stoughton. So until she moved out of the house in Stoughton, I was off with other people in the family. But I got a lot of great support, so I was very fortunate.
Okay. And what does so um if we talked so you've been married twice.
Right.
So when you kind of reflect on kind of what led to
I'm happy I
divorce,
was
the-
married twice. I got great kids out of it. So marriages on the long term didn't work out. First marriage was 6 years. Second marriage was 23 years. My oldest daughter says she had a midlife crisis, but I think it was a little bit more than that. One of them said that her brother said that she was gonna. Her older brother, a very smart guy, he said she's gonna leave him eventually. This is the type of person she is. So I didn't see that, but evidently he did. But love is blind, and she changed in my opinion, not for the better. But that's just
So do you still have a relationship with either one of your?
my first one. Yeah, we talk. We're nice to each other. And we have a great relationship as far as that goes. My second one was just too much drama. So starts out good and ends bad. So I just chose not to have any relationship at all. Not a good one. In fact, two of my daughters, I had 4 daughters with her. 2 of them talk to her. 2 of them feel the same as I do, that it's tough having a relationship because it starts out good and it doesn't end good. So they prefer not to have a relationship with it. It's unfortunate. I mean, I don't encourage them having a relationship or them not having a relationship. It's up to them. I don't try and demonize anybody. I don't think that's right. I think, whatever type, it's their mother. Whatever kind of relationship they want to have with it, it's up to them.
Okay, hold that thought.